Привет! This is a series of Russian video lessons for beginners. I already have a playlist with such lessons right here. Check out this playlist if you are a beginner in learning Russian. You already know the prepositions в and на. For example, где книга? Книга на столе. Где деньги? Деньги в книге. In these examples, we are talking about location, where something is. So, we use на, в plus the prepositional case. So, in these examples, we use the prepositional case after в and на. But what if I told you that after the prepositions в and на, we can also use the accusative case? When exactly? After our favorite verbs of motion. That is, when there is movement, when there is a direction, when we are asking куда, where to. For example, я иду в магазин. Мы ходим на фитнес. Let's sum it up so far. If we are talking about location and answering the question где, where, we use the prepositional case after the prepositions в or на. If we are talking about direction and movement and answering the question куда, where to, we use the accusative case after в or на. If you don't remember or don't know how to put a word into the prepositional or accusative case or which ending to choose, check out my videos on these cases. The links to these videos will also be in the description. Now let's talk in more detail about verbs of motion with the prepositions в and на. When should you use в and when на? Use в with enclosed spaces, buildings or rooms. For example, я иду в ресторан. Они идут в университет. Of course, there are some exceptions. Even though park and горы are open, we still use в парк, в горы. We also use the preposition в with countries and cities in most cases. But when we talk about islands, we use the preposition на. В Россию, в Москву, but на Madagascar. Now let's talk about the preposition на. Use на with open spaces, events and activities. For example, я иду на ужин. Я иду на концерт. There are some exceptions too. For example, на почту, на стадион. You can also combine both prepositions in one sentence. Я иду на ужин в ресторан. I also want to talk about a place we mention very often, home. Yes, of course, we can say в доме when we are talking about a location or в дом when talking about direction. But, for example, in English there are two words, house and home. In Russian, we also distinguish between these two concepts. When we talk about home, meaning the place where you feel comfortable, where all your things are, where there is a sense of coziness, we use the words дома and домой. Где ты? Я дома. We use дома when talking about location. Куда ты идешь? Я иду домой. We use домой when talking about direction. So, final tips. Always ask где or куда. If it's location, use the prepositional case. If it's movement, use the accusative case. And don't miss the next video. In the next video, we'll continue exploring verbs of motion and talk about the next pair, the verbs ехать and ездить. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Пока-пока!